Game number 3. Same as it's been throughout. Parrish, Robert Parrish, the Celtics center, suffered a contusion in the lower back. He is not 100%, but as Red Auerbach said, it's playoff time and you come to play, whatever ailments you have. There is Parrish, and there is Kareem, who had 30 points in game number 2. We're set to go. Lakers control. Byron Scott. He has been ice cold and has missed his first 7 shots in the first 2 games.
Well, they want to get him off early, Dick, so that he can get and feel like a winner in this series.
So we're now in the test of wills, Tom, the tempo game. Bird. And McHale. Parrish. And a loose ball foul against the Celtics.
Immediately, I see some good blocking out, Dick, by the Lakers on that offensive board, something that they used quite effectively in game 2.
Earl Strom and Hugh Evans are the officials, and John Vanek is the alternate for this game. Dennis Johnson is guarding Magic Johnson, and Kareem goes inside and is fouled by Robert Parrish. Tommy, to what extent is Parrish's injury suffered in game 2 going to affect him here?
Well, they count on Parrish really running up and down that court and blocking out and grabbing those rebounds. If you can't run and jump, they're in serious trouble.
Kareem got the ball in good position, and the Lakers start out 4-zip.
They haven't done it with the fast break, however. It's been their half-court game.
And the Laker coaches told us yesterday, we don't feel we can win a half-court game with Boston. Dennis Johnson misses, knocked out of bounds, Laker ball. But already you can see Boston really pounding the offensive board a lot more.
Well, they're double-teaming McHale on the boards. They're sending 2 guys, the Lakers, to block McHale out.
Again to Kareem. Rambis in the lane. And a loose ball foul, this time against the Lakers and Kurt Rambis.
Pat Riley wants to use as many power forwards as he can to really bother Kevin McHale, put him through a torture test, and Rambis is going to bang hard as he can.
This is where Casey Jones talked about Celtic patience. Inside to McHale. Make that extra pass, and that's one way of stopping the Laker fast break. Worthy coming right back on the baseline. Throws up an air ball. Parrish finds Ainge. 2-on-1 Boston. Bird back to Ainge.
They want to get the ball of Kevin McHale as much as possible. There's not one single Laker that can guard McHale, they feel. Beautiful pass inside, but the patience develops that inside game. And also, that time I saw the Lakers not really rotating quickly down to help out on that play.
The personal foul was on Byron Scott. Danny Ainge, hot hand missing early, had a groin pull after a tremendous first quarter, first game shooting effort, and we're tied. Lakers have won 24 out of 25 at home since February 1st. Worthy, Kareem, and a loose ball foul against the Lakers.
Well, I think the officials may have read the paper about all this banging and scrapping underneath because they're trying to clean it up early. As McHale ends up with Kareem trying to block him out. Sweet move by Kareem to take it off on the weak side, but can't connect.
Rambis with his second personal foul. So we could see McAdoo coming in early if Rambis gets his third. We have a whistle and a push. James Worthy called for the personal foul. And the Lakers have picked up a bunch in the early moments, and we have just under 10 minutes to go in the first period.
Well, Pat Riley's been worried about Worthy making foolish fouls. That was a foolish foul right in the open court.
Bird looked behind him with Worthy, took the shot, gets the rebound, loses the ball. And now a jump between Rambis and Bird. But Larry Bird looks to be far more aggressive on the inside game in the early going here.
Well, they took the outside shot a couple of times, trying to mix it up and keep the Lakers guessing as to where he's going to be.
Controlled by the Lakers. Tie at 4. Each team has dominated in the first half of the first two games. Celtics by 30 in game one. Lakers led by 18 at halftime Thursday night. Kareem with his second basket.
But they're not getting the fast break going that they count on so much, these Lakers, early in this game. So it appears to me in the very early minutes that the Celtics are controlling the tempo.
A lot of people don't think Kareem can come back with another sensational game at his age. What do you think?
I'll tell you, it was a Hall of Fame game in itself. Anybody who play that type of game at his age automatically qualified. I don't know if he can do it at 38. It's a real challenge.
They bring Parrish all the way up on top. McHale banging with Rambis. They double and triple him, and he scores anywhere. The impossible matchup is Kevin McHale.
Well, they're trying to take Kareem Abdul-Jabbar defensively out of the play by moving Parrish way up high. He was causing them some problems in game two because he was hanging below the foul line and double teaming and blocking some shots. So an adjustment made by the Celtics.
Johnson going in. Magic Johnson hasn't really gotten going in that kind of brand of basketball yet in this series. Parrish with a baseline shot. And we have a pushing foul as well, a loose ball foul.
Went on Kevin McHale, I believe.
The basket does not count. The basket counts. And the foul is on McHale, his first. The score is tied at 8. Two-man game with Worthy and Magic, and a 3-second violation against the Lakers.
A lot of early fouls here. That could be to the benefit of the Lakers, however, as they're going to use a lot more people than the Celtics want to use. Particularly, they want to keep Kevin McHale in the game, the Celtics.
Bird coming off a screen. Parrish. And here are the Lakers. 5-on-2. Dennis Johnson comes right back for the Celtics. And now the game turns into the track meet that the Lakers want so badly. Worthy. All alone, Rambis. Celtics now pushing it up.
But Parrish and McHale getting a little bit tired early.
Dennis Johnson is short. Rambis, who is averaging 8 rebounds coming into this game. Magic. Crashing the boards. We are having a fierce battle off the glass here in this first period. It's still Celtic ball. But look at that hustle by the 38-year-old Kareem.
When do you see a guy this size come up as the middleman of a fast break? Only when you're in the third game of the finals here. What a play by Jabbar.
And he was reaching for the steal. Bird with a left-handed shot. Keep in mind he has bone chips on the right elbow, plus that finger injury that's been jammed. And the Celtics have the lead for the first time, and the rebounding battle is close. Scott trying to get on track. Still can't. Bird's a trailer here. And Bird is ice cold off the start of this game. Scott, with the Celtics back on defense, is fouled and will go to the line and shoot. Smart to take it all the way in, Tommy.
Well, the Celtics were still retreating, and he has that great burst of speed to take it to the hoop and uses it.
Celtics by 2 in a high-powered game. 6:31 remaining in the first period here in an enthusiastic forum in Inglewood, where the Celtics, with their first lead of the game, over the Lakers 12-10, and these teams are still feeling each other out strategy-wise in this opening quarter.
The matchup that was so effective in game 2 of having Magic Johnson guard Danny Ainge allowed him to get in the open court once the Lakers gained possession of the ball. The Celtics have adjusted to that. DJ couldn't get to him quite quick enough in game 2. Now they're letting Ainge stay with him until they can conveniently release him, or he can conveniently release him to DJ. So that ought to slow down that advance of the ball of the Lakers a little bit more than it did in game 2.
Yet the Laker guards have been able to penetrate when they've seen the opening so far.
Well, I think that's the effect of Robert Parrish really not being able to get down there and choke up the middle as effectively as he did in game one because of the injury.
1 out of 2 for Scott. Celtics by a point. McHale looking into Larry Bird, and he had Kareem, but it was Parrish who tipped the ball in. Kurt Rambis claiming offensive goaltending.
When Bird sees Jabbar coming at him, he's just going to throw the ball up there. He knows Parrish is going to steam for the rebound.
Parrish will have a big height advantage on someone. Steal, Dennis Johnson, and it's a 4-on-2 for the Celtics. But Byron Scott picks the pocket of Dennis Johnson, and this is all Lakers. Pat Riley, who has the best one-loss ratio in NBA history now with a 46-19 coaching record.
And that was smart of Kevin McHale not to go and make that block.
All 5 Celtics have scored so far. Rambis fronts McHale and pays for it, and Kevin McHale has 6.
Celtics are taking the opposite side of the floor out of the game for the Lakers and enabling McHale to work one-on-one.
Double on Kareem, but he scores anyway. I don't know if he'll get 30, but he's got 10 already. He's a third of the way there, and he's hit his last 4 shots. No basket, and the foul on Kareem, fouling Robert Parrish. That's number 1 on ABDUL-JABBAR. And Bob McAdoo is in. What's the significance of this first substitution?
They're hoping, the Lakers, to use the likes of McAdoo, Kupchak, Rambis to have 24 fouls and totally put Kevin McHale through a torture test of aggressive play, banging him on the board. So McAdoo, very important right now to play McHale tough.
McAdoo, of course, is on the spot in his own right. He's in his option year. He has not done well off the bench in scoring. He's shooting 35%, and perhaps his future with the Lakers is in doubt. And the Lakers have not gotten a point out of their front line. Boston by 3. Under 5 to play, first period. McAdoo, good start for him. That's what they want from him.
Pat Riley said, we need points from Bob McAdoo. Bird is gambling off him too much.
McHale gets it in low. Blocked by Kareem, but a foul. Bob McAdoo will have his hands full against Kevin McHale, and the foul is against Robert.
That time the rest of the Celtics did not spread out quite far enough, and it allowed Kareem to get down there and help out on that block.
Kevin McHale was 3 for 8 from the free throw line in game 2, and in fact the free throw shooting for both teams in the series has been well below par.
Well, Kevin McHale is really going to be under the gun in this series. Look at him. He needs a shave, and he's going to play like a longshoreman, or have to play like a longshoreman in this series, because he is getting the most attention.
Casey Jones waited 8 years for another shot as a head coach, and he's done everything he'd want. 60 wins, 2 years in a row, 1 world title, looking for another. 4.5 to play, first period. Celtics by 3. Kareem, bad pass to Worthy off his leg.
Big double team that time by the Celtics.
Boston in the half-court patient offense with 13 on the shot clock. Really a test of wills with offensive philosophy. But then the Celtics turn it over, and McHale says, my fault, as he comes up floor.
But the Celtics are playing at the pace they want to play,
right,
far more than the Lakers are.
Right. McAdoo. 2 in a row. Bob McAdoo hits his first 2 shots, and the Celtics lead is down to 1. Dennis Johnson comes right back, and Tommy Johnson has been shooting under 38%. A lot of team players who haven't been shooting well trying to get on track, including Byron Scott, who still has it. Lead pass, still Boston ball, last touch by Magic Johnson.
I tell you, the Celtics are making smart, fast break moves. That time, a little bit foolish pass, as there was another man that was wide open. That doesn't happen often with Larry Bird.
The Lakers call a timeout. They led 4-0, but Boston has come back and held the lead most of this first period. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar needs 10 points to become the all-time leading playoff scorer. Jerry West, the general manager of the Lakers, has the lead, but not for long. Kareem has already scored 10 points in the game, 10 more, and he will surpass Jerry West. And there is the ageless Abdul-Jabbar, who last year broke Wilt Chamberlain's record, had a book coming out, rebuilt his home after a fire a couple of years ago, broke up with his girlfriend, and frankly admitted he didn't have the concentration that he had this year, and he played younger this season.
I tell you, he played the greatest game I've ever seen played by a man that age in a key game.
3:22 to go in the first period. Bird, defended now by McAdoo. Kareem knocks the ball away from Parrish. They try to get it inside to Robert. Dennis Johnson finds Magic.
And that's the tough job for Dennis to find Magic at times.
McAdoo, who's hit his first two, banks this one in.
Larry Bird is a free safety. He gambles, and Riley wants McAdoo to take those shots and hit them. He's going to be wide open a lot.
Parrish with a sky hook of his own. 8 points for Robert Parrish. McHale also has 8 for the Celtics.
No limp in his game today, Robert Parrish.
Key thing is whether he could jump, and he's shown he can do that. McAdoo again. Bird's going to have to play him much tougher now.
I think they're keying on Bird right now, both Jabbar and everybody else on the Lakers.
Bird gets free inside, and McAdoo and McHale are going at it now. Somebody better step in, and Jimmy Rogers, the Laker assistant, and the officials bring a halt to this in a hurry.
One of the reasons, Dick, is that when you start platooning guys to use their fouls against one player, he gets a little angry about it. And McHale knew that happened in game 2, and now he's trying to sort of stem the tide.
McAdoo still wants to get at McHale, and Earl Strom will have none of that.
Here's Bird making a good move and a little fake, and there's McAdoo coming over the top. And trying to get up the court, McAdoo takes a swing at him. So that's just that little aggressiveness showing by both players right now.
This is where the officials have to make a definitive move to control this game, because it is still early with 2:15 to go. A double foul has been called against McAdoo and against Kevin McHale. No shooting.
That affects the Celtics more than the Lakers.
Michael Cooper is coming to the ball game, and he'll be all over Larry Bird. Cooper was an offensive star as well in game number 2 with 22. McAdoo going in. Kareem. 12 for Kareem, and he needs 8 to break Jerry West's record.
Well, they're getting physical, the Lakers, much like they did in game 2.
Johnson puts a fake on Magic Johnson. And getting position is Kareem, and the Lakers, trailing by 1, will try to take the lead with a minute and a half to go in the first.
I'll tell you, this is really inflicting will for will. Both teams have it for a couple of minutes, and then it changes. Terrific.
Kareem, Cooper. Long sky hook at the 24-second buzzer. 1:10 to go in the first period. Bird in the corner. Kareem rebounds, and LA can retake the lead again. McAdoo. Under a minute to go in the first period. And this is the tightest first period of action we have seen in this series.
Are they looking for Bob McAdoo?
They brought him in early and wanted to get him off, and he did, to the tune of 8 points at this time. 5 on the shot clock, and a foul against the Lakers. They are in the penalty, and so the Celtics will shoot 1 plus the penalty.
I think, Dick, that the officials right now know that there's anticipated tough ball game with physical hand checking, and they just called it on Michael Cooper trying to clean it up.
Kareem goes out, and Mitch Kupchak, who had a tremendous impact in the second game with 15 strong minutes, 5 rebounds and 5 points. And if you want to talk about this game moving up a notch, in intimidation. It could with Mitch in there.
Well, Mitch is a guy that was really throwing his body around in game 2. In fact, Casey Jones cited him for the real dirty play of trying to take Robert Parrish's head off.
Cedric Maxwell, who has been little used to the Celtics, he's not at full strength, replaces McHale, and the crowd lets them know how they feel about him.
Maxwell, that's a key move by Casey Jones. He's hopeful that Maxwell will regain his form. He needs his inside play.
Larry Bird, 1 of 2 from the line. Celtics lead by 2 points with half a minute to play now. Against Maxwell. McAdoo. But there's Kupchak. He had the layup and he couldn't do it. And now the Celtics play for the last shot. Celtics waited until the last minute for their first substitution. Pat Riley went 3 men into the Laker bench. 5 seconds. Bird out of the pack. And that'll do it. 1 second to go. Cooper fires it up. And the Boston Celtics, in the closest first period of this series, have their biggest lead, 29-25. And a lot more action coming up from the Forum. Dick Stockton and Tom Heinsohn back at the Forum in Inglewood, and the Celtics had the last shot. And how did Larry Bird play Michael Cooper to get that last basket?
Well, Bird only needs just an instant to get the shot off, but watch how nicely he sets Cooper up for the bigger Celtic. I believe it's Parrish to pick him off. Takes a step to the hoop, and then there he is popping out. Plenty of time to get that shot off. That's all Bird needs, is just an instant.
Well, that drop step has been terrific because no one really has been able to defend against that shot that Larry Bird, one of the many variety of shots he has.
Well, what made it work even more effectively, Dick, is remember the first ball game, he got 4 layups off that same type of action. They were trying to play on the top of the pick, and he reversed it and got layups.
Scott Wedman has come in the game as the rebounding story is even, as the game is practically even. Boston by 4 in the second period. Scott Wedman, a good outside shooter, had a record-breaking first game, hitting 11 of 11 from the field. Gone now for 3. Wedman set an NBA record with 11 three-point shots in a row this season, and he's 5 for 5 for the series.
And when he hits that first one, he's liable not to miss the rest of the day.
Mitch Kupchak with a baseline shot from 18 feet. Ainge guarded by Worthy on a switch. Wedman defended by Magic Johnson. McHale now has Kupchak with him, and McHale scores. He has 10 points to lead the Celtics. Kareem's 12 leads the Lakers.
McHale's much more mobile than Kupchak. He can get his shot off anytime he wants down here, and Worthy is having his day here too.
With Kupchak's knees, most people are more mobile at this point. Ainge. Maxwell with the offensive rebound. Dennis Johnson. 6 for Dennis Johnson. 7-point lead for the Boston Celtics. Less than 2 minutes gone by in the second period.
Now hustling back these Celts.
McAdoo misses. McHale with the board.
And McHale's tired, and now it'd be a good time for the Lakers to push it right back at the Celtics.
Maxwell draws the foul inside. Cedric Maxwell was the hero of Game 7 of last year's championship, and he has been not much of effectiveness for the Celtics, but it looks like he's going to play a role here.
Kupchak can't run the court as effectively as McHale, but this is what he's in here to do, to block off McHale and really put a body on him, and he's doing it. And Maxwell at the line, Dick, is very important for him to run up and get in that low post quickly. He's a very effective player if they get him the ball before the defense gets the time to double team.
Up to 9 now, the Celtic lead. They're trying to post Kupchak. Magic Johnson has his shot blocked by McHale. McAdoo, who was hot early, then grew cold, now has 10 points in the game. And a foul against the Celtics.
That's only the second foul on Kevin McHale, Dick. They announced during the end of the quarter, watch here as McHale is being moved by Kupchak and then moves back, and Kupchak pulls the Olak job and gets the foul call on McHale.
They call double technical fouls on those two, so McHale has 2 personals at this point. A glance back to Game 3 of last year's championship. The Lakers returned home and rebounded from the disastrous overtime loss in the previous game. Magic Johnson led the way with 14 and handed out 21 assists. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar dominated in the middle, scoring 24 as the Lakers rolled to a 137-104 victory and a 2-1 series lead. And a different characteristic to this third game as all series take on different forms. The Celtics have been leading after the Lakers scored the first 4 points, 38-31. And how would you look at the give and take of this game at this point?
Well, I think the Celtics played the better part of the game right now because they controlled the pace of the game the way they wanted. They never let the Greyhounds of the Lakers get out and chase the rabbit, Magic Johnson. So I'd say very much the game in control as far as the Celtics concerned.
Quinn Buckner has come in the ball game for the Celtics, the veteran guard who specializes on defense. Byron Scott returns to the game for the Lakers. There is Scott, who has been cold after a brilliant season. Magic Johnson goes to the bench, having scored 2 points. 9:40 to go in the second period. Worthy going to work against Maxwell, crashing the boards, and they're going to call a loose ball foul against LA, and that'll be against Mitch Kupchak.
Well, they're really working McHale, I'll tell you that, in every way possible.
Kupchak is guarding McHale, and so McHale's going to see some muscle here. He's fouled.
Well, that was a terrific pass to McHale right along the baseline by Wedman. And the lack of mobility by Kupchak never allowed him to get back into the play. Here you're going to see him on top. Wedman, beautiful pass, and Kupchak can't get back at the play.
Foul was on Kupchak, his second. The Lakers have gone to the line only twice, the Celtics 11 times. People would say, hey, what's the matter with the officials? Aren't they calling an even game?
But they're using up those fouls on purpose, the Lakers, I believe.
And the Lakers are not getting inside as much as they like.
Exactly.
McAdoo popping from outside. Kupchak with a good move inside. It's 40-33. The Lakers certainly within striking distance as we wind down the 9 minutes remaining in the second period. Scott is on Buckner. Lakers going with a lot of second liners. Celtics are now second liners. McHale and Ainge are the only starters in the game. That'll be the foul called on Mitch Kupchak, so he picks up 3, and now Kareem will check back in the game, and Mitch goes out.
Well, I'll tell you right now, they are working that McHale as hard as they can, playing very physical with him, hoping that he will tire out in the second half. LA has committed 7 fouls guarding McHale right now, and the Celtics are trying to capitalize on him early by going to him in a low post.
Ray Williams has come out into the ball game for the first time for the Celtics, and Robert Parrish returns, and Maxwell perhaps gave the Celtics more than he's given them in a long time.
Well, he looked like his timing was there, and the Celtics looked like they had confidence to give him the ball.
So now the Celtics in the backcourt defending have Buckner and Ray Williams, their second line guards, against Cooper and Byron Scott. Kareem is back in there, the starting centers. Finally, they'll call the foul on Quinn Buckner of the Celtics. That's their first team foul of the second period.
Well, the Celtics aren't going out and challenging people normally, but Buckner loves to go up and get underneath you and make you pay.
McAdoo working on McHale, who lets him go right by for an easy layup, and McAdoo has 12 now. Wedman wide open. You're right, when Wedman hits the first, who knows how many he'll hit in a row.
The Lakers not back fast on defense that time.
Worthy gets the ball, good position, try to jam it, missed the shot. Worthy goes right in against the big meat of Parrish and McHale, and a good move by James Worthy. Celtics have maintained a 7-point lead, however, And here's a turnover. 3-on-1. And the foul, it'll be a two-shot foul against Quinn Buckner with Worthy going in.
Well, when one of the guards of the Celtics penetrates and there's a miscue and the Lakers gain possession, that leaves only one man back normally to protect against potentially three. Tough job that time by Buckner, and he made the good foul.
And the Lakers don't normally get fast breaks through turnovers, do they?
No, they don't. They're not very aggressive themselves defensively, so if you throw the ball away, you're just playing the game into the Lakers' hands. They're not aggressive defensively, these Lakers. They don't go out and press.
That's always been the bone of contention for Pat Riley. No rebounds, no rings. Play defense. We all know how great they are offensively. McHale inside. He knocked Worthy down. The crowd wanted a foul, but Earl Strom was there. And now McHale has 16 in the game.
And he's weathered, what, about 8 fouls?
He's had the entire LA Army on him today. Kareem. Parrish blocks it. 8-point lead for the Celtics. Their biggest lead was 9. Basket here will up it into double figures. 7:20 to go in the first half. Ray Williams beating Parrish, and the Celtics have opened up a 10-point lead now to Pat Riley's consternation.
Well, that's what Casey wants from Ray Williams. Good penetration and judgment on when to pass.
McAdoo gets the loose ball. There's an open man. Worthy. Magic will be coming back in the game as Pat Riley wants to bring more of the front liners in. Doesn't want the Celtics to get too far in front. They lead by 8 now. Now Magic goes back to the bench. Buckner looking for Parrish. Stepped on the line. Laker ball. Larry Bird will come back in for the Boston Celtics, but we will have a timeout. The Celtics lead 48-40. 6:43 remain. They've been in control. Pat Riley has been in the finals in his 4 years as head coach and looking to win another world championship.
Oh, that's quite a record, though, for one man to be involved in 4 finals in a row. The only guy I can remember doing that is Red Auerbach.
Magic Johnson's come back in the game, Tommy, and he has 2 points and 4 assists so far and really hasn't gotten unleashed.
Well, I'm not so concerned about his scoring as the assists for the Lakers. The Celtics have been effectively able to keep the ball out of his hands and not allow him to dish it off on that fast break.
Kareem with a skyhook. He is now 6 points away from the all-time NBA playoff scoring record. His boss is in the audience, the man who currently holds the mark. More important, the Lakers are trailing the Celtics by 6. Wedman misses. Byron Scott leads a break. 3-on-3. Scott continues to be in a shooting slump. It was last touched by Worthy. Scott is 1 for 4 today, but he'll keep shooting and has been told that by everyone.
That's the way to treat a shooter. You don't tell him to stop shooting because he misses a couple.
Turnover, Lakers. Have it. Magic all the way. And he'll go to the line and shoot and almost got a chance for a 3-point play.
When you let Magic get up to the foul line before he reaches a defender, you are done, man. Because he hits open people. Right now, the Celtics, when they see him coming, also have to be concerned about the wingmen who can shoot jump shots, so they virtually leave a path to the basket for him.
Foul was on Quinn Buckner, his 3rd personal foul. Celtics right now have their starting team in there as Danny Ainge comes back in. And the Lakers have their starting team with the exception of McAdoo, who has 12 for Rambis, who started. Down to 4 now. .45 remaining in the first half. Bird over Worthy. He did not get a good shot off. Worthy was in his face. Magic Johnson goes in. Doesn't get the roll, and the steal by Johnson. And a technical foul has been called. Magic Johnson is arguing with Earl Strom.
Here it comes up, makes a great basket. Something he's been trying to do. McHale comes up with the rebound, a steal by Magic. That comes back for the real cram. McHale gets out of his way, and then a little argument ensued.
Technical is on Magic Johnson. Larry Bird gets the free throw on the tee.
Here's what happened afterwards. McHale starts to come up the court and gets in his way, and he's allowed to do that. And Magic says, "Get out of my way," hit him in back of the head.
Meanwhile, the Lakers had run off 8 in a row before Bird hit the technical. And with 5:24 remaining in the first half, it's 49-46. And Tommy, you're right. The pace has, I guess, favored the Celtics, but the Lakers are like waiting in the weeds, so to speak, ready to ambush.
Well, as soon as Magic came in there, he came in with a vengeance to get that break started.
And at the Forum, you always have your array of stars and celebrities and sports figures, such as this man, Al Davis, the managing general partner of the Los Angeles Raiders, who's here just about every game. And I guess, Tommy, when he sits in those front row seats, he better be here for what they call.
Nice man.
Larry Bird is shooting only 3 for 10 so far in this series. In this game, that is. He's under 45% in the series. Dennis Johnson in and out. And the Lakers can come within 1. Magic Johnson, you're right, he's coming with a vengeance, playing with a lot of zeal out there now.
But Danny Ainge is getting to him quickly. He was open in game 2 coming up the court. Now Ainge is starting to slow him down.
6 on the shot clock, Worthy in the lane. And it's a 1-point game. There's another star. I could probably show you 100 of them. McHale. Double team. Parrish on the other end. Basket counts and a foul. Robert Parrish. What did Pat Riley tell us about the knack the Celtics have on the other side for getting those offensive
They
goals?
are really terrific, the Celtics, on weak side rebounds. When Kareem goes to double team like that, that leaves Parrish against a smaller player, and he's trying to take advantage of it just like this.
It takes a lot of timing, I would think, too, to know when the ball's going up.
All it takes a little intelligence to say your man's leaving you. I better head for the boards, and Parrish is a pretty intelligent player.
Celtics by 3, 4:20. Byron Scott.
That's got to be a morale booster for Byron Scott.
51-50. Parrish surrounded. Magic out to meet Ainge. The Lakers on an aggressive half-court defense, and they call the Laker foul. They're in the penalty, and the Celtics will shoot. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, second personal.
Well, they have extended the Laker defense somewhat, hitting the outside shot, but now the outside shots are breaking down, so they're being able to go inside and jam against Parrish and McHale. So that's the reason that Jabbar got that foul. He was up close, and people were coming at Parrish, but not quite quick enough.
Parrish misses the second free throw. Lakers can tie with under 4 minutes to go. Worthy is fouled, and LA can tie it up. Jamal Wilkes has to sit and watch. He had ligament damage after missing last year and not being effective in the championship series, and Jamal Wilkes has had to just sit and bring his team along as Maxwell comes in. 3 fouls on Kevin McHale.
Well, this is something that hasn't happened in any of the prior series. Get Kevin McHale or Robert Parrish in early foul trouble. Now we're going to see how good Maxwell can be in this series. Very important for Maxwell to play well for the Celtics. Otherwise, the Lakers can go ahead here.
McHale has scored 16 points and sits down.